Hey reading friends, today is the last day of March, and so it's the last day of March's reading month, and so I decided to wear one of my March's reading month t-shirts one last time. I have two more dog books to read about a dog named Harry, so I wanted to show you my two dogs one more time, Sadie and Riley. The first one is Harry the Dirty Dog. The author is Jean Zion. Harry was a white dog with black spots who liked everything except getting a bath. So one day when he heard the water running in the tub, he took the scrubbing brush and buried it in the backyard. Then he ran away from home. He played where they were fixing the street and got very dirty. He played at the railroad and got even dirtier. Can you see him up above the train on the bridge? He played tag with the other dogs and got dirtier still. He slid down a coal chute and got the dirtiest of all. In fact, he changed from a white dog with black spots to a black dog with white spots. Although there were many other things to do, Harry began to wonder if his family thought that he had really run away. He felt tired and hungry too. So without stopping on the way, he ran home. When Harry got to his house, he crawled through the fence and sat looking at the back door. One of the family looked out and said, "There's a strange dog in the backyard. By the way, has anybody seen Harry?" When Harry heard this, he tried very hard to show them he was Harry. He started to do all his old clever tricks. He flip-flopped and he flop-flipped and he rolled over and played dead. He danced and he sang. He did these tricks over and over again, but everyone shook his head and said, "Oh no, it couldn't be Harry." Harry gave up and walked slowly toward the gate, but suddenly he stopped. He ran to a corner of the garden and started to dig furiously. Soon he jumped up away from the hole, barking short, happy barks. He'd found the scrubbing brush, and carrying it in his mouth, he ran into the house. Up the stairs he dashed, with the family following close behind. He jumped into the bathtub and sat up begging, with the scrubbing brush in his mouth, a trick he certainly had never done before. "This little doggy wants a bath," cried the little girl, and her father said, "Why don't you and your brother give him one?" Harry's bath was the soapiest one he'd ever had. It worked like magic. As soon as the children started to scrub, they began shouting, "Mommy, Daddy, look, look, come quick! It's Harry, it's Harry, it's Harry," they cried. Harry wagged his tail and was very, very happy. His family combed and brushed him lovingly, and he became once again a white dog with black spots. It was wonderful to be home. After dinner, Harry fell asleep in his favorite place, happily dreaming of how much fun it had been getting dirty. He slept so soundly, he didn't even feel the scrubbing brush he'd hidden under his pillow. Hey friends, the next story I want to read is called Harry by the Sea. It is not a sunny day here where I live in Michigan, but I thought I would pretend like I'm at the beach. So I got my beach hat, my sunglasses, and my beach towel. And I think it would be fun if you pause this story and go get one of your beach towels, sit down on your beach towel, and listen to this story about Harry by the Sea by Jean Zion. Harry was a white dog with black spots who liked everything about the seashore except the hot sun. One day when the sun was hotter than ever before, Harry looked for a shady place to sit. But when he tried to get under the family's beach umbrella, it was too crowded and the family made him leave. When he crawled into the children's sand castle, the walls fell in and the children chased him away. And when he walked in the shade that a chubby lady made, she became angry and made him stop following her. "Get lost," she said. She was very annoyed. The sun was very hot, and Harry had walked a long way from the main beach. He was tired, so he sat down at the water's edge. All of a sudden, a big wave came from behind and crashed right on top of him. When the wave rolled back, Harry was left floating in the water. He was completely covered with seaweed. He didn't look like a dog anymore. He looked like something from the bottom of the sea. Suddenly, a lady saw him floating toward her. "Help! Help!" she shrieked. "It's a sea monster!" The lifeguard heard her and blew his whistle. "Everybody out!" he shouted. "Everybody out!" Everyone ran out of the water, and so did Harry. He was still covered with cold, wet seaweed. It made him feel cool and comfortable, and now he didn't mind the sun at all. He felt so good, he started running back to his family. On his way, some people saw him. "It's a sea serpent!" one of them screamed. "It's a giant sandworm!" shrieked another. Harry had water in his ears and could hardly hear them. He kept on running toward the main beach. When he got there, Harry stopped and stared. Instead of just his family's umbrella, now there were hundreds of them. They were all striped, just like his family's. Harry couldn't tell one umbrella from the other. Suddenly, 2 beach attendants saw him. "Holy smoke!" one of them gasped. "What's that?" "It's a bushy-backed sea slug," exclaimed the other. They whispered for a moment, then they ran. Harry went from umbrella to umbrella to umbrella, but he couldn't find his family. Everyone wore sun hats and sunglasses, and everyone used suntan oil, just like his family. Harry looked and sniffed very hard, but it was no use. He couldn't tell one family from the other. Suddenly, the 2 beach attendants came running back, carrying a big trash basket. "Stand back," one of them said to the crowd. They ran toward Harry. "We're going to catch it and take it to the aquarium," said the other. Then they tiptoed right up behind Harry and raised the trash basket over his head. Harry didn't know the beach attendants were behind him. He was listening to something. He thought he heard someone calling his name. There it was again. Harry, Harry, Harry. Now Harry was sure. He didn't wait another second. Just as the basket came down, he ran. He ran right out from under the basket. It happened so fast, the beach attendants just stood there with their mouths open. As he raced through the crowd, some people screamed, some people ran, and some people did both. But Harry paid no attention. He kept on running across the beach. When he got to the hot dog stand, he stopped and barked happily. Behind the counter, the hot dog man was shouting. It was his voice that Harry had heard. But Harry had water in his ears and couldn't hear very well. The man wasn't shouting, Harry, Harry, Harry. He was shouting, hurry, hurry, hurry. Get 'em while they're hot. Harry still thought the man was calling his name. He barked and jumped with joy. He jumped so much that suddenly the seaweed all fell off. When the crowd saw that Harry was a dog, they gasped. They could hardly believe their eyes. All at once, Harry began to jump higher and higher. He saw the children. They were running toward him. "Oh, Harry," they cried, "we heard you bark. We've been looking all over for you." Harry was so happy, he did a little dance. The hot dog man was very grateful to Harry for bringing the crowd to his stand. He sold all the hot dogs he had. He gave Harry a free hamburger. The lady who had told Harry to get lost came along and bought him a cold drink. "You're no sea monster," she said. "You're just a lost hot dog." Everyone laughed except the two children. "He's not lost," one of them said. "He's Harry and he's ours." Then they hurried off to join the rest of the family. The next time Harry's family went to the beach, they brought a new umbrella. Harry liked this one very much. It was white with black spots. No matter how crowded the beach became, it was easy to find. But best of all, it was big, and when the sun got very hot, there was room underneath for all of them. I hope you like those stories. Two activities I have for the Harry stories. One of them is to draw a picture of the beach. If you've been to the beach, then you probably have a good idea of what you'd like to draw. If you haven't been to the beach, you could think about the pictures from this book, or you could look up some pictures of the beach and draw a nice picture with the water and the sand and some birds and some people and some umbrellas, maybe some crabs, maybe some fish jumping out of the water, maybe some beach balls and beach towels. Think of warm times, and summer should be coming soon. My other activity idea is to think about another adventure that Harry could have. You can draw pictures and tell the story, or you can write some sentences to go with your pictures and tell the story.